guys, welcome to this episode of Flashback Friday. I'm Sally Lyndley, and on this episode we are going to chat about the runway show that I styled for Costello Tagliapietra Fall 2008 runway show in New York during New York Fashion Week. So, I love Costello Tagliapietra. I met these guys, I think I saw their show, and then I saw them appear because they were nominated for some different Echo Domani or the different fashion awards as young designers, and they are lumberjack bears, and I love bears and lumberjacks, and so I automatically fell in love with this couple who designed some of the most beautiful women's dresses, I think, of all time. Now, I basically just had my agent reach out to them, and I reached out to their PR company, which I had known from pulling from the showroom. They were part of a showroom called Starworks, where I used to pull clothes from in New York all the time, and now I pull from them in LA. But I fell in love with their clothes and didn't know who was styling it or what the deal was, so I just reached out and said, hey, can I have coffee with them? I'd love to style the show. They were like, yes. So we had coffee in New York, and we met, and we vibed and got along, and I was just looking for a show to do, to style. I just moved back from London. And yeah, and these guys, I just fell in love with them. Like, they're so cool. They have an amazing sense of draping, and the way their clothes fit women, I just think is so beautiful. So, the first collection I did with them, I ended up doing 3 collections. The first collection is this one, the Fall 2008 collection. And the inspiration for it, for us, was behind the styling and kind of the more of the set and hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff was Brothers Grimm and Hans Christensen fairy tales. So we wanted to do fairy tales and maybe like a little bit of like kind of Dorothy and Oz kind of moment, but we didn't want it to look too retro-y. So I was more inspired. We did like the cool little hats that were all Alberta Swanpole. I think that's how you say his name. He's an amazing hat designer, and he ended up doing the really cool folded fabric hats that on some of the girls look like little ears. I was obsessed with them. We had a really cool raccoon/rabbit fur print in the show that I love. And then the casting, we kind of wanted, there was also like an element of White Witch in there because of the kind of fairy tale. It was kind of that mix between the young innocent girl or the princess who were in a lot of these, and then the kind of all of the evil characters that also evil witches and all that kind of thing that were in it. So it's like, we mixed it and we kind of casted the whole thing with these girls with long hair, long kind of fairy tale hair, and the casting I was obsessed with. I love opening with the girl Masha. She looked just incredible, and she looked like a deer. So to me, she was like Bambi opening the show. And then we also had like Amy Wesson, who's one of my favorite models from back in the day in the 90s, and I was super glad to have her back. We had Danielle Z, we had also Megan Collision, who's one of my favorite girls. We had all Diane Cantarinano, I can't say her name, she's Brazilian, but an incredible casting that I worked with the boys on. And then we had Jimmy Paul for hair, who is just stunning and amazing, and Val Garland for makeup. So the girls, we just wanted fresh. We wanted frizzy, kind of slightly witchy, very Grace Cuddington style hair. So we did a little crimp to it. Jimmy Paul killed it. And for the styling, I just, I didn't want to do anything tricky because they're mostly just beautiful dresses, and it was a fall collection. So, to make a lot of the dresses feel a little bit more heavy, we added the really hardcore like wool jersey long gloves to a lot of the looks. We did the turtlenecks underneath the dresses to just give it a little bit of that heaviness, and also to give it a little less sex and a little more, I don't know, that fairy tale kind of English girl vibe, and then also doing like a heavy wool, opaque, knitted tight. So that was the collection I did for Costello. Storybook inspiration, Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, Brothers Grimm, all those wonderful old fairy tales that were really quite scary but also really beautiful, and that was kind of the inspiration. So it was super fun styling the show. I love Costello Tagliapietra. Check out their latest collections, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Flashback Friday. Check you later.